ye, 14th District Superior Court is now in session. The Right Honorable Robert Jones presiding.
Well, before this court, will the defendant come forward? You've been found guilty of murder in the first degree. It is the verdict of this court that you be put to death in the manner prescribed by the laws of this state. The defendant is herewith remanded to the custody of the sheriff of this county for transfer to the state's prison, where on the 19th day of July of this year, you, Peter Gunn, will be executed.
I want 5 minutes with him. I'll bring him along to the car. Things are going to be moving pretty fast now, Pete. I just wanted to say.
You just wanted to say?
If there's anything I can do.
It's been done.
Sit down, Pete. Look, I investigated a murder. That's my job. That's why I've got a badge. I didn't expect to find you at the other end.
How could you possibly think I'd commit murder?
Pete, I believe you.
But you're having trouble, is that it?
No! Look, let's go over this thing again. The court testimony. The bank manager said you knocked on the bank door an hour after the bank closed. He said he let you in because he recognized you. Because he recognized you, Pete.
Look, we've been through this whole thing a dozen times.
Well, let's go over it again.
Why?
He further stated that once inside, he produced the gun in a canvas bag and ordered him to fill it. While he was doing this, the only other employee in the bank, the cashier, tried to sound the alarm. According to the manager's account, you fired 2 shots, killing the cashier, picked up the money, and exited the bank.
Why should I rob a bank?
I know you didn't rob the bank, but we've got to have proof that you didn't.
Where do I get that proof? I've been under a murder indictment, held without bail. If I could just get out of here, talk to that manager, find out why he testified the way he did.
I've already talked to him. He won't shake.
I'd shake him.
What about the cab driver? The guy who claimed he picked you up outside the bank.
There's an answer, but I've got to get out of here to get it.
Pete, I'd be the first to release you if I could.
That's no good. It's just no good. I went along with the law because I was naive enough to believe in it. I actually thought I would be acquitted. Innocent people aren't convicted.
Pete, if you could only give me something, some clue, something I could work on.
I've got to have something to work on, Lieutenant.
It's impossible, you know it.
Then what are we talking for?
I thought maybe we'd get together, talk it over, and, I don't know, go over it. See if there's something that come up, something you forgot. Some piece that might fall into place. I don't know.
Yeah. But you just can't pick up new evidence behind bars.
I'll take you back. Wait. The cuffs.
Hey!
do you want?
I want to know why you testified against me in court.
I took an oath to tell the truth. I told everything just as it happened.
You lied.
No, I didn't. And you have no right to break in here and try to intimidate me. I merely did my duty as a citizen.
Mr. Pauly, I wasn't in your bank the day of the killing. Now, you know that, and I know it.
I testified to the facts, only the facts.
Those were not the facts. Mr. Pauly, look at me. Who am I?
Peter Gunn.
Look at my face. Take a good look. Is there a chance you could mistake me?
No.
Think, Mr. Pauly. Think hard. Now, I'm not asking you for a reasonable doubt. I'm asking you to swear beyond the shadow of a doubt that I was the man that walked into that bank. Can you do that?
I'm a peaceful man, Mr. Gunn. I never tried to harm anyone.
Answer my question.
I don't know what to say.
You do what to say in court.
I'm confused. I don't know what you want from me.
I want the truth. Mr. Pauly, your glasses.
What about them?
Could you recognize anyone without them?
I don't know. That depends.
What do you see? Tell me exactly what you see.
I can make out your features.
How well?
It's a little hazy, blurred. But I can recognize you.
Would you bet your life on it?
I don't know.
You bet mine. When you looked out the window of the bank, were you wearing your glasses?
I usually wear them. I suppose I was.
You suppose?
I believe I was. I can't remember now.
Do you remember the exact amount of the robbery, Mr. Pauly? Over $400,000. A sum like that might cause a person to rob his own bank if he had a patsy. Or he needed an excuse to fall back on, like nearsightedness, to avoid perjury.
No, that's not true.
Isn't it?
Mr. Gunn, I need a moment to think.
About what?
Perhaps I was a little hasty in my identification.
That's better, Mr. Pauly. That's much better. Now, I want you to remember everything you've said here, because I'm going to give you a chance to repeat it in front of witnesses. Let's go.
Stay right where you are, Mr. Gunn. Don't move. Stay. Hello, operator. I want you to connect me with the police, please. Don't move, Mr. Gunn. Take your hand off that phone.
I'm trying to locate a driver named Joe Krowski.
Well, what's the trouble?
Well, I was in his cab. I think I left something.
Checked, lost, and found in the morning. They're open at 8.
Well, I'm going out of town. I'd like to talk to him personally.
Let's see what we have. Krosky. Well, he went off duty at 6.
Do you have his address? It's important.
227 Addison.
Thanks. Thanks very much. Krosky.
How did you get out?
We're going to talk about how I got in.
All right, talk.
What's the current price for false testimony?
I don't get your point.
Well, then maybe I can be a little more explicit.
All right, I'm listening.
I could break your arm.
You might not.
Why did you say I got into your cab?
Because you did, that's why.
Who paid you to say that?
Nobody paid me.
I wasn't in your cab, and I saw you that day in court. I'd never laid eyes on you before.
All right, suit yourself.
You know how it goes with me, Krosky.
No, how does it go with you, Mr. Gunn?
I've been convicted of a murder I didn't commit.
Well, that's too bad, Mr. Gunn.
It wouldn't go any worse for me if I were actually to kill someone. All right, tell it, Krosky. Tell me everything.
I can't talk. I can't breathe.
All right, breathe. But don't count on it being permanent. Now tell me what's behind this and tell me fast.
There ain't any more than what I told in court. Mr. Gunn, I know you would kill me, but what good is it going to do for you? Look, I wasn't trying to hang you in court. I only said what happened.
I wasn't in your cab.
Mr. Gunn, I drive a cab. I don't go around looking for any kind of trouble. Some affairs I remember and some affairs I don't. You, I happen to remember. Now, why do you keep knifing at me? Why don't you leave me alone?
You said in court I got into your cab at 4:18. And why are you so certain of the time?
Because I had it logged in my book.
Where did you let me out?
Third and wall.
Then what happened?
You walked away.
Are you sure of that? You sure I didn't hang around the corner? Did you see me walk away?
I saw you. I watched you. The light was red. I watched you.
Which direction did I walk?
Went north on the wall.
How far?
Light changed. I don't know how far.
You've got a pretty good memory, Karski. Now, you're going to remember that I was here, aren't you? Because if I don't find out a few things, I'm coming back.
Lieutenant Jacoby.
I've been thinking.
You should have thought before you broke out of here. Where are you, Pete?
Look, I need a little more time.
You're way past due. I've been waiting because I figured you'd call. Now, you better come in.
Not yet.
Where are you?
I'm in a public booth. But don't run a trace on it. There isn't time enough.
Pete, I'm ordering you to come in. I got 2 phone calls tonight. One from the bank manager, another from the cab driver. You can't make it your way. You're out there terrorizing the community, and I'll rip up this town to bring you in.
I've got to play this thing out.
I can find you, Pete. I can start the machinery. And if I do, you haven't got a friend left in this whole world.
Look.
Pete, for the last time, I'm telling you to come in.
I'll see you around, Lieutenant.
Bulletin issued on Peter Gunn to all departments. Description as follows. Male Caucasian, height 6'2", hair black, eyes brown, 185 pounds, age 34. Subject escaped from custody. This man has been convicted of murder.
Been a while.
How have you been, Sylvester?
Friggin' even.
Well, I see you still have that old feeling.
That? Nah, it ain't what it looks. I'm strictly legit now.
Breaking into safes?
I got a license. I'm a locksmith.
You a locksmith?
Sure. I recognize the error of my ways. I took group counseling up at San Quentin.
That's good to hear.
Yeah, figured it shouldn't be a total loss. I get into something I'm best suited for. No sense wasting all those years of experience. Inferior workmanship. They don't make them the way they used to. I wouldn't store my parole papers in a thing like this.
Look, Sylvester, I've been having a little trouble.
Pete, you've been having a lot of trouble. I read about it. Stay away from them bank jobs. There's no time off for good behavior on them federal raps.
I'll bear that in mind.
Of course, some of these federal joints feed pretty good.
Look, Sylvester.
Yeah, you take Levin's work. There's a joint with a real menu. Chicken every Sunday. On Thursday, they give you steak.
Look,
Pete, what are you doing out?
I took a walk.
You're gonna get me in trouble, Pete.
What for?
I'm not supposed to associate with known criminals.
Sylvester, I did not commit the crime.
Me, he tells. It ain't what you do, Pete. It's what you get nailed for.
Have you heard of any fresh money around?
Like what?
$400,000 from a bank robbery?
There's still a couple of guys around specializing in bank heists.
Like who?
Marty Rizzo's mob.
What do you know about him?
Few old pros, but mainly kooks. He's even got a broken-down actor working for him. Remarkable Reinhardt, an illusionist.
An illusionist? What does he do for him?
Anything for a buck. And room and board. He's living in an abandoned night spot now. Marty Rizzo's old, Golden Age Club. Kooks.
Pete. They're going to come back here looking for you. You know they are.
Oh, look, honey, they've been and gone. I'm sure that the police are satisfied that I'm not fool enough to come back here. Now, what else did Lieutenant Jacoby say?
That there was no way out. That if I saw you, that if I couldn't convince you to turn yourself in, that I should.
Go on.
That I'd have to call him right away and tip him off. I can't do that, you know. I can't.
Edie.
This is all so ridiculous.
Well, that's what we've got to prove. Now, look, honey, let's go through the whole thing once more. You're to call Sylvester. You've got the number, right? Tell him to contact
Reinhardt?
And say that Peter Gunn's on the loose. That he's got to be set up once more. That it's worth $10,000. That an interested party will be waiting
at the Golden Age in an hour. And tell Sylvester to have Reinhardt wear his working clothes.
Right. Then you're to call Lieutenant Jacoby.
Yes, Pete.
You know what?
What?
You're pretty.
Thank you, Mr. Sylvester. Lieutenant, you'll find Pete at the Golden Age nightclub in 45 minutes.
Edie? I'm not going to ask any questions, but if I can help at all, please let me, honey. You got to do your number pretty soon. 5 minutes.
Reinhardt. See, you got my message.
Gunn.
Well, it's a good job of makeup. Any jury in the country'd believe you were me. Let's see what you really look like. How much did they pay you?
It was a challenge. An actor seldom gets a role such as I had, Mr. Gunn.
You were playing with my life.
It was completely impersonal, I assure you. My professional pride wouldn't allow me to reject the opportunity.
You can chalk this up as your last performance, Reinhardt.
There'll be others.
Not where you're going.
All the world's a stage, Mr. Gunn.
Run by Marty Rizzo?
I suppose you could call Mr. Rizzo an impresario of sorts.
Was the bank robbery his idea?
The plot was carefully calculated.
Including murder?
It was most unfortunate that I was obliged to kill the cashier.
How do you ever talk you into a thing like this?
There are few things in this world, Mr. Gunn, that are quite so tragic as the lot of an unemployed actor.
Another thing about actors, Reinhardt, they talk too much.
Glad you could come, Rizzo. It appears that Mr. Gunn and I have reached somewhat of an impasse.
You should have stayed in jail, Gunn. It was safer.
It didn't look that way at the time. It won't work, Rizzo.
Well, we can give it a try.
You killed me and you've made a confession.
Well, we're going to clean up this little impasse between you and Reinhardt. We're going to make it look like Reinhardt killed you.
I'm not a violent man, Rizzo.
You're a little bit too violent at the mouth.
Everybody freeze. Interest you to know that escape from the custody of an officer is a felony in this state. But for some strange reason, the district attorney chose not to prefer charges.
Thanks.
Wait here, I'll get your release papers.